Happy President's Day and welcome to Knightline Live, and brought to you by nobody at this point. We're looking for somebody. If you got a business out there that's looking for some exposure, hey, give us a call. We can help out.
Now, to clarify, we have sponsors, but not a lead sponsor
We don't
for
have
Knightline.
not like our old one that we used to have from up north in Lynn there, but it was good. We had them for 2 years, and so anyway.
So if you have a business and you want to sponsor Knightline, and that including that, Jerry, you'll have an ad on all of our live streams. Is that correct?
Yes, and I must say, our stuff, we do pretty good. I mean, the last 2 weeks we've had over 9,000 views in our broadcast, so that's pretty good.
Somebody's watching.
Somebody's watching. Our millions and millions of fans.
How many years we've been doing this?
This is year 5.
Year 5.
Year
Okay.
5.
That's
Finishing
right.
year 5.
Yeah, for this show right
Yeah,
here.
for this show here.
All right. Well, what do we got going on tonight? We'll talk, we're kind of almost between seasons here. We still have boys basketball is still on, so we'll talk a little bit about that. Wrestling semi-states were over the weekend at Newcastle. The Knights had a couple wrestlers there, and so we'll discuss how they did. Tonight we're going to talk about, we're going to have a segment. Jerry, you're going to be part of this segment also on refereeing. We got a couple guys here, Gary Schaefer and Brad Fisher, local guys, I'm assuming, are close enough.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk about refereeing. We're going to talk about a couple of things that I'm interested in. How do you get started? Why are they doing it? We need referees, right? Is that still a thing?
It's still a thing, even though, some of the numbers have gone up.
Okay.
But the amount of people that are 60 years and plus old, those people will be dropping off here pretty soon, including myself.
I wasn't going to say anything. Hopefully not on the field or on the court. They won't be dropping off that quickly.
You never know. And the thing is that, sometimes that does happen.
It does happen.
And I think it was this year in basketball, there's been a couple officials die on the court. And, and it's... I don't know. It's a sad situation, but
just like anything else, the referee profession could use an infusion of young talent.
Well, you can always use some young blood.
Young blood, and I would encourage. I was a football referee in another state for 15 years. Had a lot of fun doing it. I had an opportunity to do some state championships, which was, an honor to do. And I would encourage anybody, if you're an athlete and you're not going on to play college sports, be a referee. I mean, that would keep you in the game, and you might make a little money while you're at it.
You do that while you're in college, you will be the king.
You'll be driving the sports car.
Yeah, you'll be driving the sports car around there, because you'll be making that extra $200 or $300 a week, and people think you are it.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're going to have a full panel of referees here. We're going to discuss a lot of these things, and I'm looking forward to some great interaction. All right, no more. Well, NFL is over, obviously, so we're not doing our NFL updates anymore, Jerry. However, have you watched any of the Olympics?
Well, a matter of fact, no.
Okay.
But I will say this. Obviously, we're talking about the women's hockey team. My son went over to Milan, Italy, and watched the first game that the women's hockey played.
Right.
He went over and watched that and said, really interesting. Had a great time over there. He said everything is super expensive.
Yeah, I bet it is.
But that women's hockey team, let me tell you what, they're knocking it out of the room, out of the building.
They're dominating right now. I think it's, and I've been trying to keep up with women's and men's hockey, but it's kind of looking like it's headed toward maybe a U.S.-Canada final there. Canada's known for hockey.
Yeah.
I mean. NHL, a lot of Canadians play hockey. And the U.S. men's hockey team is undefeated also, and potentially the same thing. They're, headed for a USA-Canada final there. So, if you've never been to a hockey game, to me it's one of the most exciting games there is, because of the talent these guys have, and just the skill level.
Well, you talk about hockey. Watching it on TV is no justice to what it is at the game.
Yeah, you got to be there.
Yeah. Miami, Oxford, Ohio has a college hockey team. Beautiful, beautiful facility over there if you've never gone. It's a great place to go watch a hockey game. It's really inexpensive. And then if you want to go to the NHL, all you got to do is Columbus, Ohio, Blue Jackets.
Not that far.
Not that far.
Yeah, it's very, very exciting when you're live. And so, hockey's a lot of fun. But as far as Olympics go, that's a good story. Another event that I like to watch is ski jumping. Have you ever seen those guys? I don't know how they do it.
I'll tell you, I can tell you how, because when the ice gets on our ramp out here in front of the Nice Broadcasting Network, it's like 100-meter, and you take off at the end. Jeez, oh Pete.
I mean, the technique these guys have, they're flying through the air. To me, it's unbelievable. I don't know how they do it. Of course, everybody gets interested in figure skating this when the Olympics come around. We don't follow it. At least me personally, I don't follow it any other time.
I don't either.
But, you get interested with the Olympics. So if you get a chance, they're all over the tube. Go on there and watch some Olympics. Here's something that might be interesting to you, Jerry, as a former race car.
Might be right up my alley here.
Daytona 500 was yesterday. That means spring is right around the corner.
That means spring's around the corner.
Doesn't matter what the groundhog said.
Doesn't matter what the groundhog says. I'll tell you what. I watched the truck race because I knew some people racing the trucks. I watched the ARCA race. I knew some people there, and also the O'Reillys, the old whatever you want to call that, the O'Reilly. And then I watched the Cup race. As I watched all 4 races over the weekend, and you know what? It was pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, they put on a show. How about that finish in the Daytona 500?
Well, that was epic right there. I mean, you could see that coming, and the cars. I tell you, the one thing people don't realize with that, when I was at Daytona, you see people jumping around like this. It ain't because they're turning the steering wheel. It's because the car is physically lifting off the ground.
Oh, absolutely.
And resetting itself.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And the first time that happened
to me, at 190 miles an hour they're doing that.
I don't think I'm in Kansas anymore here. I mean, I was like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
The middle is not a good place to be in that.
Let me ask you, Jerry, what kind of nerve does a guy have to have? I couldn't do it. I couldn't even go out there I don't know if I could go out there by myself. And these guys are, at Daytona, they're restrictors, right?
Yeah, restrictor plate.
But, so they're only doing 185, 190 maybe, something like that.
Yeah.
What kind of nerve does it take? Then you add 3 wide, going around the bank.
If you've ever been to Daytona and you stand there and you look at it, you wonder how they get 3 wide.
Yeah.
Because it is not a very wide track. It is not in those turns. And, it's different.
Yeah.
When you're going in there, I mean, the first time I ever went into turn 1, I was like, your foot's saying, keep her to the floor, and your brain's going, are you an idiot? And then, you keep it down there and the car sticks, and oh, okay, this is nothing. Then after about 10 laps, you're like, oh, this ain't that difficult. And you're going around, you just run your line and so forth, get into the draft. It gets crazy when you start getting 3 rows and you're stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
Because you're getting air off of both sides. You're just jumping around.
And your car's flying. It's floating through the air.
A lot of times you have absolutely nothing to say about what happens.
Yeah.
Somebody wrecks in front of you, and you're like, well, here we go.
Yeah.
Mush.
Yeah, there's nowhere to go.
You can do.
If you got nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go.
All right. So it was an epic finish at the Daytona 500. A lot of fun. I do want to make a note. There's a local, I call him a kid because they're all kids.
They're all kids to us.
There's a local kid from who went to Lincoln High School who's in the ARCA series, and his name is Presley Sora. I hope I mentioned his name properly.
Correctly.
Not bad for a local kid. He
No.
got in the ARCA race. ARCA's kind of like the minor leagues.
Yeah, it's like in minor leagues.
And so, he's trying to work.
Yep.
You try to work your way up, just like in minor league baseball. But he, finished the race, which I think is an accomplishment. Tell me.
That's an accomplishment at Daytona if you just finish it. But he didn't finish unscathed.
Right. No, there's always a bump and a bruise.
He flat-sided the right side into the wall. Car came up on him, and he went over, and smoked the wall. But kept everything straight. Nothing got bent, and so on he went.
Yeah.
But,
because not everybody finishes, right?
Not everybody finishes.
Yeah. So, and that equipment there's a lot of money invested in these cars, these teams.
Yeah, it used to be, like, each one of those cars now probably in the ARCA series, $100,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's in the ARCA series. Are they more at the Winston?
The Cup stuff is going to be more. They got a lot of telemetry on them.
Yeah,
There's somebody sitting up there going, "Oh, look, that shock just moved a quarter inch more than this. We need to adjust this."
Yeah.
And so they're doing all that stuff.
Right.
It's very sophisticated.
Well, it is, and it'd be interesting to sit in the box as these guys are, doing their adjustments, or the crew chief is saying what they need to adjust when they come in on a pit stop. And for guys, a lot of times these guys are in their car and they're in trouble out there. They just keep going.
Well, just to tell you, just one quick story here. We're running at Michigan International, and we couldn't get up to speed for nothing. And Ken Schrader came over, and Ken Schrader says, "Hey, I had a car just like that, and he had a tape measure. He gets out and he's measuring all this stuff, and he goes, narrow your front end a quarter inch on each side."
Wow.
And I went, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to work. We picked up 9.5 mile an hour.
Wow.
On just that right there. And that put us into the thick of things.
Wow.
That put us into the top 20 qualifying right there. Otherwise, we may not have made the race.
Wow.
Just shows you how sophisticated these cars are.
Well, that's interesting. So there's our Daytona 500 racing update, and it's always interesting because you watch racing on TV. We don't know what's going on, and the action is really probably in the pit boxes is what
Oh, that's where it all is.
The action is there. That translates to what's going out on the track. So, all right, well, it's time for a break, I think.
Hey, let's go to a break, and when we come back, we're going to have our officiating aficionados guest on here. You're watching Knightline Live. At Kate's Family Eye Care, we value a family-friendly atmosphere, offering high-quality eye exams. Our expert staff utilizes the latest techniques in eye care. We have a large selection of affordable glasses that are unique to our area. We are proud supporters of the Northeastern Knights and wish all the teams the best of luck.
Go Knights!
When the professional's vehicle gets sick, they go to All Around Auto Repair and Sales, located in Fountain City. Their SAE certified technicians work on foreign, domestic, and those fun diesels. Work van not feeling good? Or maybe the family car? And don't forget about the weekend warrior. Go to All Around Auto, 408 US 27 Fountain City. It's good medicine for your car.
Looking for some good local barbecue? Well, look no further because Ann and the Pigs has arrived. We got tips, ribs, chicken, and our fan favorite pulled pork sundae. You hungry yet? Well, check out our website at annandthepigs.com to find out where our truck is located next. And if you miss our truck, don't worry, you can cater with us year-round by using our website as well. Ann and the Pigs, bringing tasty where it's needed.
you have a big event coming up soon, Dejo Photos has you covered. Check us out on Facebook. We are professional photographers who strive to capture all of your special moments, such as family portraits, senior photos, live action sports, graduations, and so much more. If you don't think photos are important, wait until they are all you have left. Contact us via email at info@dejophotos.com or call us at 765-277-0047. Dejo Photos, capturing memories one photo at a time.
From our trucks to their lunch trays, to your local hospital, to your favorite pub, and to your kitchen table. For more than 60 years, Dot Foods and Dot Transportation have been stocking the shelves of your hometown. Sure, we've grown a lot, but at our core, we're still small-town, family-run businesses that care about our communities and the people who keep us running. Join the Dot family today and be part of something bigger.
Being aligned with the Better Homes and Gardens brand brings with it a unique approach to identifying, marketing, and servicing distinctive homes. We know that your experience while buying and selling your home is as important as the homes being bought and sold. That's why our affiliated agents are passionate about personalizing every part of your real estate experience to ensure that every moment is distinctive.
All right, welcome back to Knightline. As you can see, Jerry and I have switched seats. We've been talking about racing off air here with our guests, but interesting. We'll have to have a whole show just on racing sometime, Jerry.
We should do that.
Anyways, we like to do a segment on refereeing because you go to sporting events, you got to have referees. They're part of the game, so we wanted to bring some seasoned referees on here. I'm in this spot because Jerry's a seasoned referee.
I'm something.
Well, anyway,
seasoned or not.
And our other guests here are Brad Fisher and Gary Schaefer. Guys, appreciate you all coming.
Absolutely.
To discuss this. So let me throw this out there to you guys. Recruiting has always been an issue. We were talking a little bit off air. It's always good to have some young blood come in. So whoever wants to address this, how's that going right now?
Well, as for our association, the BIOA, our baseball, we're starting to get a few umpires coming in, which is really nice. Seeing that younger group come in, and we have a lot of veteran guys, and we are really encouraging our young guys. Like you said earlier, if you're involved in athletics and you're not going to move on to the next level, come out and get back to the game.
Yeah, be a ref of something.
Yes, be an umpire, be a ref, do something to get back to the sport you love.
Yeah, you look at you guys are baseball. Gary and Brad, you guys are baseball. Jerry, I'm going to say Jerry and Gary. I'm getting tongue-tied here, okay? Jerry, you do everything. I mean, not everything, but most things, right?
A lot of basketball,
your main thing.
Baseball, football, and volleyball.
Yeah, so that about encompasses it around here. There's also wrestling and there's other things, but so let me ask you, Jerry, if you're a young guy and you're taking our advice and trying to get in, how do you break in? So break it down for us.
Well, that's the $1 million question. Nowadays, if you're trying to break into like a college or something, it's camps. Here in high school, it's finding your local association, getting with their chairperson and their mentor program, and having that, the motherly wing out there to bring you along, and that's how you got to do it, and that's how you do it now. Back when I first started, it was your principal had to sign a card that says that they recommend that you become an official. Now, they don't have any of that anymore.
That was way before my time.
That probably was, and maybe not Gary's. Gary's, they used to chisel it in there.
Whatever.
But that's the way it was back then. So you had the people, personally vouch for you.
Right.
And then I've got hooked up with Troy Ingram and Wayne Van Sickle and Bill Bunger and Bob Beeson and, those guys like that. And that's how you got moved along. They got JV games and brought you along at a speed that you always thought was not fast enough, but it's a speed that you should be.
All right, so for information for somebody who's watching and might be interested, let's go down to you, Gary. How do you find out where the association is? Who's in charge of the association? Is there a website? Is there something?
Sure there is. There's two. IHSAA.org is the first one you probably go to.
Okay.
It has a school directory, gives you every AD, every list of your associations, give the name, where they're at, association map. Obviously, you want to be in close proximity. You don't want to be traveling 50 miles to one meeting.
Right.
So we try to hand guys off to, maybe you belong in Mid-Hoosier, or maybe you should be at Central, or we're pretty close. We
Geographically located.
Geographically, try to take it easy on you as best you can.
Yeah.
And then you can go on there, and there is a registration website, and you click on that. If you're going to go by the seat of your pants and do it by yourself, the best way is to come talk to any of these people right here, and we'll give you a direct line, get you hooked up for a free registration and a free association fee.
If all else fails, Gary, if you called your local athletic director like Ryan Halloran here, would he know where these associations are, or should they know?
You just call IHSAA.
Okay, all right.
And Libby or any of those people will be happy to hook you up.
All right, Brad, let's go to you. So I'm a young guy, all right? I want to get into refereeing because I love abuse from the fans.
Absolutely.
I love it when they boo, all right? and I tell guys this all the time, that when you're refereeing, you got to love it when they boo, all right?
Yeah.
You got to have,
No, you're doing your job right.
Well, yeah, because we all know the referees in the stand have read the rule book,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
All right, so how do you try to bring a young guy up? Is there a process that you guys have identified that you use?
Yeah.
I know you're baseball.
Yep. Yep. And it's like this for every sport in our association.
Okay.
Through our association, we have our president, Mr. Skeel, and so forth, but we have our mentor chair, Mason Rottinghouse. And so if we get somebody interested in being an official, no matter what sport it is, obviously we're tied to baseball, we're going to get him with Mason, and Mason is going to assign a mentor. He's going to reach out to veteran officials in that sport and then assign them a mentorship.
Okay.
And then that mentor will then help that gentleman make sure he does the right process to get licensed through IHSAA, start at the lower level.
Right.
And then, every sport has their way of bringing the officials up. And so, for us, we go and we get them involved in looking at pitches and getting them on the diamond, where to go and where to move to. I'm sure football and basketball are the same. They get them out on the court, get them out on the field. And then we're going to just mentor to them and try to get them involved at a lower level to work themselves up so you don't throw them to the wolves, per se,
right.
at a varsity level. If their goal is high school varsity baseball, you're going to have to start low, work your way up, and then work yourself to varsity baseball.
Is there a time period that you tried to? All right, so you got a young man or woman, right? That comes in, and they want to work their way up to varsity. Is there a typical time frame from when they start to when they can work a varsity game?
Yeah, so a lot of that's going to come to their rule knowledge before getting started. If somebody comes in raw, like I know nothing about volleyball, and I've been asked to be a volleyball official, but I don't know the first thing. It's going to take me some time, right, to get to a varsity level. Baseball.
You ought to do it, by the way.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of fun,
Yeah. So, I played baseball. I coached baseball for 15 years at the varsity level. And I thought I knew a lot about baseball, but I tell you, when I become a licensed official, I realized there's a lot more to the rules, and the coaches.
You're admitting as a coach you didn't know the rules.
Absolutely. Right. So,
most humbling experience in my life is becoming an official.
Yeah,
that's a humbling experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, the rule book is essential to running of the game, and a lot of people never read the rule book, and it's important to do that. So there is a mentorship program that you guys run, and you try to bring them through this program? And again, is there a time frame? So if I started today in your mentorship program, is there a couple of years, a year, 2, 3, 4?
Yeah, I would say a lot of that's going to put what time you invest into it.
Yeah.
You know, so if you invest your time and you push forward and you really are invested, you could be working some varsity games in a couple years, 2 or 3 years, I'd say.
All right, so that's not that long of a wait period.
Yeah, I mean, and again, that's a lot of because of the shortage of officials.
Right,
You know, so and the older officials that are retiring and going on. So so once you get in, you get licensed. I would say. You start out some junior high, JV level baseball, and you prove yourself. And we, as mentor and as chairman of our association, we're observing you, and then we feel confident to get you up to the next level and get you established with those.
Baseball specifically, but this could be any sport.
Absolutely.
Could you do you recommend like summer travel leagues and that kind of stuff?
It is a way to get exposure to the game.
Okay.
Reps. And
yeah.
you get the reps.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you get into a lot of the coaching, the dad's coaching. It's
Oh,
a little
yeah.
different,
Yeah,
at the
I
summer and
understand.
AAU level.
I understand.
And that's where their parents, think that their kid's going to going to be the next Derek Jeter. But
Yeah, and they don't boo.
yeah.
Well, all right, Jerry. So let me ask you: are there clinics available for people who are just starting or they want to improve their skills?
There's clinics available for every level that you want to work.
All right.
And some are very.
Let's talk about basketball. That's kind of your main thing at this point.
Well,
I
we
think.
just had a pro basketball referee tryout thing. It was like $250. I mean, you had 2 former NBA supervisor officials there. You had Sports Illustrated was there covering one of the kids that was going and trying out. And
By the way, go to your Facebook page and you can read that article.
yeah, you can read that article.
You might
on our
see your name
Facebook.
in the Sports Illustrated. I understand. I didn't read it, but I understand you might be there.
I am in there. They called me an icon. I was like, that's pretty cool. Sports Illustrated icon.
Comes with the gray hair.
You guys need to give me some room here.
Distinction with the gray hair.
Oh,
Comes with the gray hair.
but yeah, there's all of it, and you can go in for like $25 to $400 or $500. It just depends on what you're wanting to do and where you're wanting to go and where you are in your career at that point. If you're just starting out, there's no reason to spend $500 to go to a Big Ten camp.
No.
Yeah.
There's no reason to do it. But if you're just starting out and these guys are having a clinic and they're going to charge $25, that's where you want to go, and get your basis and so forth, and and they won't hit you too hard with the baseball.
No.
I mean,
Can't throw very hard anymore.
And while we're talking about that, our association will reimburse you if you want to go for some specific training. For instance, the Dome Camp in Grand Rapids is a good 2-man. That's a great entry-level 2-man clinic, $245. You pay it, you come home, give us a receipt, we will reimburse you your $245.
All right, so you're always looking for improvement. You want your guys to.
If
your
you're not
umpires.
improving, you're going backwards.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, here's another issue because I'm sure you guys have all dealt with it at some point. Obviously, there's crowds at these games. Basketball's, is close. Baseball's close. Football's not so bad because they're, a little further away. Let me talk to you, Gary. Let's start with you. How do you recommend, especially to a younger one, who's just starting or coming up, that they don't develop the rabbit ears? That they call the game professionally and do the job. What is your advice to that person?
Your focus is on the floor, paying no attention to anybody but your partner. He's your only friend, or if you have 2 partners, they're your only friends for the day. Back them to the hilt. Come to their defense. But your focus is here. Pay no attention to this guy back here. Now there comes a time when maybe you need to go site director or athletic director, and if they're not there, the head coach, and say, look, this guy or that guy, this needs to stop or they need to go.
Yeah, we've all been to a venue where we've seen somebody escorted from the premises, and I don't think it's the cheering that's getting them out there. It's probably the personal attacks. You know,
Well, that's it. When it gets personal is when it changes.
Yeah, I mean, I've been known to yell at a ref. I hate to admit that, fellas. Okay, I will, and I've been a ref. All right, but I think when you start getting personal is when it takes a side turn. All right, Brad, let me ask you, you got to deal with coaches sometimes, and it's not always, it can be the heat of the moment. How do you handle that?
Well, that really all starts when you show up to the diamond and you develop a relationship with them as a
Right.
referee, umpire to coach.
Right.
And I think it starts there, and how you interact and how you reply to a coach that might be. We always tell our guys, ask the coach, do you have a question? Because I'm not going to sit here and let you talk to me, and berate me in front of
Right.
everybody. But if you have a question, I'll be glad to answer that in a respectable manner.
Right.
But that all starts, and there's just a camaraderie among the officials. When you become an official, you get to know the coaches by name. And,
Right.
I don't want them to address me as Blue. My name is Brad. Address me as Brad. I'll address you as, your name versus coach,
Yeah.
And I think, once you get that rapport going, and it makes it go a lot better.
Well,
for sure.
you've been there before. You start to know the coaches and
Yep.
that type of thing. Jerry, let me ask you about basketball. Basketball is a little different because it's, the crowds are bigger.
Yeah, crowds are bigger.
And they're louder.
And it's more volatile.
And you got a lot of referees in the stands. They know the rule book better than you do.
And I did what Brad said. I said, Coach, if you've got a question, I'll be more than happy to answer. And he says, how can you be this bad? And I went,
Did you have an answer for that? I want to know what your answer is for that.
oh, my answer was, that's the only answer I had. I'm like, I don't know how it can be this bad.
I have to admit, when I was a coach, I told an umpire one time, I said, you can be terrible, just be consistently terrible. That didn't go over well either.
That didn't go well either, no, probably not. But all those things like that is what I can say, Gary can't say. But what Gary can say, I can't say. And it's that personality that you meet with those coaches. They know who you are and all that I could joke with them and they laugh and move on. Gary might be able to joke with them and they just go off. Or he might give them a serious answer.
Your voice inflection may make a difference.
And the voice inflection might make a difference. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. But the one thing, if the official gets excited, everybody else gets excited.
Yeah.
If you stay calm, it's a death dart to their heart.
Yeah.
When you remain calm,
Yeah, when
You're
they
I
in
keep-
think the idea
You're in
is you
control.
want the game to continue.
Yeah,
Let's
sure.
go. Let's get the game
That's
moving
right.
on. We'll get past this. Coach will calm down. And I point out basketball specifically because the crowds are bigger and louder.
Sure.
And
If they're playing, they're coaching.
yeah.
And if there's nothing going on, it's like baseball. If you're waiting around for the pitcher, the coach is this, and you're like, "Come on, dude, let's get going." The same thing. So yeah, it's interesting. Some of the stuff.
All right, so here's a thing. I'll throw that out to the crew here. Eventually, if you're going to be an official, you want to move up to do sectionals, region. You want to be able to do the prime events.
Sure.
So, Brad, let me talk to you. How does that happen?
So there's obviously, IHSAA puts out a list of things that have to be accomplished in order to work into the state tournament, including sectionals, and work your way up.
Okay.
And the biggest way to learn those is get involved in the association. Get to your association meetings. We will walk you through the process if you're a newer official. You have to score a certain percentage on your postseason test.
Right.
You have to attend so many association meetings. You have to be a certified, go to a certification clinic.
And these are things you guys provide at your local association.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. And Gary and I both as baseball co-chairs, we're going to get them to where they need to get into the state tournament.
Let me ask you this: how many times do you have to take the test and pass the test?
So to get licensed this one time, you got to get a 75% or better.
Yeah. All right. And
90
I would
at
recommend
the
do
tournament
better than
level.
75%.
Absolutely.
Know that rule book. I mean, here's
That's
my
important.
thing. Know that rule book like you know anything as good as you can. Study it and restudy it. That's going to be my contribution to the cause
Sure.
here.
And the great thing what IHSA has done is that test is not designed to fail because if you're in the book, you'll find the answers.
Yeah.
It's an open book test.
Okay.
So, get in the book, and that's what they want you to do is read the book so you know the rules.
Right.
And so there's no reason you shouldn't get a very good score on the test.
You have to have a 90 to make the tournament.
Okay.
You've got to have 90.
All right. Now, do you have to retest every year, or is just once and you're a licensed official? Is there a retest?
Not to hold your license.
Not
you
to
do
hold your
not.
license.
All right, but how about to do like sectionals and,
Oh, yeah.
and beyond?
Every year.
Every
year you have to take a secondary test and get a 90 or better.
Okay.
Now 90 gets you in the lowest bracket of the test score
Right.
in the rating system.
You want 100.
You want 100. That's what you're after. 99 to 100 to get you the highest point total towards your sectional ranking.
Okay, so what are some other factors that go into who determines to do sectional games? I'll take whoever wants to answer that right there.
Well, you got, number of years licensed, number of years previously working the tournament.
At what level?
At what level? Yeah,
That's more points.
Yeah, more points.
When you say at what level?
Well, if you've worked a sectional,
okay.
but you haven't worked a regional, or maybe you've worked a state finals,
Okay,
there's more
points of it.
available there.
Okay, all right. All right, go ahead.
And there's a 6-year term there. If you go out, drop out. If you go beyond 6 years at this level, you lose that point. You lose
Gotcha.
You got, and of course, the one that comes out and the biggest controversy is the coach's vote.
Yes.
And I'll say it. And, it's the coach's vote. That's the big deal.
That's 50% of your
50%.
score.
Well,
okay.
Is coach's vote.
In,
All right.
in essence, it's still 100% because if
It's the bottom line. Don't kid yourself.
Yeah,
It's the
if we
bottom
got, if all three of us have the same ability to get all the points, it's coach's vote.
Absolutely.
There's nothing else. And then you got your certification clinic you got to go to, and just stuff like that. And that's what, it all comes out to. And ultimately, everybody is at the mercy of the coach's vote.
And they point off 3 decimal places here. So if you have 3-point discrepancy, that might drop you 20 positions.
Wow, okay. All right.
The voting is very close.
It's
Yeah.
very, very tight. And back, it used to be, is a lot different. The voting system was coach's vote, but the IHSA was like, these coaches are not right, and they would circumvent that. Now they print it off and down the list they go.
And they have to vote. You get voted every game,
Yeah.
and you have to vote within 24 hours. That is correct, and then you have 24 hours?
It opens at 24 and got to vote within 48.
Okay,
All right, so you're encouraging the coaches to go out there and vote, I would assume. or
Absolutely.
Depends how good of a game you had.
Yeah.
I
well,
mean, all right.
and you get a 10-point.
Yeah.
And if you want to see a guy advance, don't give him a 3 or don't give him a 5. That's a kiss of death. Give him that 7 or 8 or 9 vote or a 10 vote. If you want to see the guy advance, because they think you're doing, he can work sectional, we'll give him a 5 or a 6. That's a death no.
Well,
Yeah.
are the coaches up to, do they know what the rating system is and how it works, or do you know that? Some do, some don't?
Some do, some don't.
Yeah, some do, some don't. And so, that's important that the AD passes that on to the
Okay.
coaches. That's important that the athletic directors, communicate that to their coaches that, however just one play does not need to make that umpire or official be a bad official.
Yeah.
They may be really upset that you didn't call that foul in that last second shot, or you didn't call that guy out at home, and that cost me the game. But you're a really good official. You cannot give him a poor vote off of maybe that one call.
All right, so from an outsider looking in, there's a lot of moving parts in that.
Absolutely.
In that equation, it's subjective. It is what it is. So outside of having a person go around and rate you, a rater, so to speak, which is probably impossible to
Sure.
do, but anyways, it is what it is. But you want to encourage guys to get better, and the better you are, the more sectionals, regionals, and on you can go, or at least you get a chance.
Absolutely.
Tell our guys, I don't care if you're working 5th grade or you're working the semi-state, you put the same effort in.
Yeah.
You give that kid everything you got. I don't care if he's 10 or 21.
Well,
I don't care.
It's important to whoever's playing.
Yes,
no matter
absolutely.
what-
And their parents and so on and so on.
All right. Well, Jerry, anything else for the good of the cause here?
Yeah.
I mean, we could go on for 2 hours here.
Let's
but-
bring up one quick thing here, as everybody's want to talk about cost.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, baseball and softball are probably the biggest cost,
Absolutely.
and probably a $500 bill, if you can find one, would be about what it would be to get, and that's mid-range stuff.
I'm saying that's pretty close. It's a $50 shirt and a $70
Yeah.
pair of pants, $150 pair of shoes, and you need plate shoes and base. It goes on and on here. So
Yeah. Yeah, but I can see where now. What about football, Jerry? It's just your
Well,
uniform,
Well,
right?
football is you got shoes, which is going to be $100. You got the special pants, which is going to be $60. You got a referee shirt, a short sleeve. You also got a long sleeve, and then you're going to have a winter shirt.
all
and
your
you got flags,
underclothing,
and then
all
all
the
your
underclothing.
undergarment stuff for
that can
cold
get
weather.
up there
That can
probably
get up there.
$300.
So you could probably be $300 to $400, and that basketball is probably about the cheapest to
Maybe.
get involved, and you can probably do that for $250 into that.
And you're always upgrading your equipment. I mean, everything breaks down. Shirts get old. Stuff,
Yep.
Your chest protectors break. Something happens. Those shoes, you got to get new shoes every once in a while.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, anything can happen.
But I will ask, do they pay you guys? Do you guys get paid?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
You know, absolutely.
It doesn't hurt, right?
No. So
It's gotten. I don't know if you want to call that lucrative, but when you pay me $90 or $100 for 2.5 hours, that's a pretty good check.
Yeah, it is.
When I started at $22.
Well, now you're aging yourself, Gary.
It is what it is.
All right, how long have you been doing it? Tell
This
us.
is my 35th year, but
right.
I got a lot of guys younger than me with a lot more years because I didn't start till 41
Oh wow, okay.
because my boys were in athletics.
And Brad, how long you been doing?
right at 25.
Okay.
But I was for about 10 years of that, 12 years, whatever. I was also a coach.
Okay.
So.
And Jerry, I know you've been doing it for probably the longest on this panel.
47.
47 years.
And I remember JV, $7.50. And I remember working double headers, $17.50.
Well, McDonald's had a dollar menu back then, so that was big.
Gas
money.
was 19 cents a gallon, you know.
Hey, still
Jerry
expensive.
doesn't look bad for 75 years old, does he, guys? He's doing
It's
okay.
just it is. It's a whole different, and it is lucrative now. If you do things, if you approach it as a business, then it can be very lucrative.
And, you know, baseball is just in the spring and early summer, and then you get your football and your basketball. And if you do multiple sports, you can really be, make some side money.
And we're basically talking high school, baseball.
Yeah.
So, there's college, and if guys who want to move up, I mean, that's another show.
That's a whole nother show right there.
It's
But
a whole other line of pressure, a whole nother level of pressure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the money gets
Yeah,
better,
it's
and the
a lot more
benefits
pressure.
get better, and everything's get
Got to
better.
be able to travel.
Yeah.
What's your job?
Yeah.
Can you
Yep.
travel on Wednesday afternoon at 2:00?
Well, you know what, Jerry? We're going to bring a couple guys in on sometime who have done that, and
Yeah.
we'll discuss that. But well, fellas, we don't have enough time to make it justifiable here. We could go on forever, but I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Gary
having us.
Schaefer and Brad Fisher. Everybody knows Jerry. I appreciate all you guys coming on. If you have any questions, call them. Call the local athletic director or ihsaa.org, and you can scroll around their website and find out about being an official, because I know there's a section on there, being a referee
Yep.
or that type of thing. It's a very fun thing to do, and you can make a little money. And you know what? They need you, so come on out if you have the inkling to do that. All right, we're going to take a break. I want to thank the guys for being here. When we come back, I don't know what we're going to talk about, but we'll talk about something. This is Knightline Live.
In this market, finding a home you love and actually closing the deal is a cause for celebration. And it all starts with a competitive edge from First Financial Bank. We'll get you pre-qualified fast so you can get your offer in first. We even offer programs with low down payment options and reduced closing costs. Plus, our friendly local team is always here to help. A bank that's ready to help you find a home and a reason to celebrate, however you choose to. That's First.
First!
You're good at basement basketball.
We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Harmon sheds are custom built to your specifications and needs. But wait, there's more! Harmon sheds build privacy fences, decks for your pool, beautifully designed decks for all around your home, and detached pavilions. Let Joe and the crew do all the work, so all you need to do is relax.
We're dedicated to great results just for you. Johnson Chiropractic.
So I recommend Dr. Johnson all the time over the years. Many people have come to Dr. Johnson for my recommendations. And if people live 50 miles away and they tell us they have this problem and they're going to have an operation, we say, no, go see our chiropractor, Dr. Johnson.
We're dedicated to great results just for you. Johnson Chiropractic.
This is Rick Fletcher. When my car needs repair, I take it to 715 Simharjan Parkway in Richmond, home of Knuckle Busters. With their ASE certified technicians, why would you go anyplace else? They repair domestic and imports, air conditioners to Z-bars. Knuckle Busters Auto Repair. Call 765-488-1470 and tell them to go Knights!
L&S Lumber Hardware and Supplies in Greens Fork. Walk into what a hardware store should be. Filled with Valspar paint, Red Ryder wagons, generators, old Milwaukee power tools, and DeWalt power tools. Animal feed, lawn and garden supplies. Make sure you ask about our pole barn packages. L&S Lumber, Hardware and Supplies in Greens Fork. Welcome back to Knightline Live, and Rick, that was always fun talking to the guys behind the mask. And
yeah, I appreciate Brad and Gary coming on. Yeah. They're spending their time to come here and share with us. They have a passion for it, like you have, Jerry, all these years. And just to kind of wrap that up, if you have any inkling, do it. I say do it, because number one, it's fun. You've been to places because of refereeing that you never otherwise would have gone to.
Well, I was in London.
Yeah, there you go.
Refereed in London. I mean, how many people can say that? I've been to Canada like 3 times. And,
well, you get to experience things.
In Mexico.
So it's a good profession, I'll call it. And, you ought to take advantage of it. All right, let's move on. We got boys basketball still going on. Do you realize that the sectional draw is next Sunday?
It's Sunday.
So, boy, things are moving right along, Jerry. Knights basketball, I'm saying they're playing better. And
well, absolutely, they're playing much better.
Yeah, you can. It's really fun to watch this team right here, how they're progressing, because you can see from beginning to season to right now, that progression happening. And so honestly, you got young guys out there. I mean, it's a total team effort. Brent will play 9, 10 guys all the time. Might go into even deeper in his bench. If you're on the bench, here's what I know about Brent Ross. If you're on the bench, you better be ready to play.
Yeah.
Because you might be going in, and it might be spot duty. You might be in there for a long period of time. But be ready to play. And Brent utilizes everybody, to play. And you got some guys that are really coming on. Caleb Moore is having a great year. I mean, Caleb's doing great. Of course, he's a three-point shooter, right? And he can do it consistently. I think Logan Seals had a great year. So, those two guys, they're seniors. Also, Marshall Phillips is really coming on. Another kid I want to mention is Luke Wiley. I think
the mayor of Dunktown?
Well, we're going to talk to Luke here in a minute, but, you can see with Luke, confidence is starting to come. Confidence is the X factor with the young athletes.
Yeah.
He's only a sophomore, and, if he's watching here, I want to tell him, you know what? You're a good ball player.
Yep.
All right? You just got to know that because I think right now he's playing well. And, so the Knights, they're 500 on the year. They're 9-9. A few of those losses could have been wins, but you're at where you're at.
Well, you picked up 2 TEC wins this week over Union County and over Tri-High. At Tri-High, and we were home at Union County.
Yeah. So, that big win over Union County, Marshall Phillips and Luke Wiley were players of the game, so we got them on tape.
Right.
Let's go to that right now and see what they had to say. Our Subway players of the game are senior Marshall Phillips and sophomore Luke Wiley. All right, Marshall, different starting lineup tonight, but you guys all come in anyways. Did that make a difference in this game tonight?
Right. I don't think the starting lineups really make a whole big difference because we all get subbed in the first quarter anyway. So if you're starting or not, you're going to get in really quick. So you just got to be ready if you don't start. If you do, you got to be ready too.
I think you're saying that exactly right. So you you're a three-point shooter. That's your game.
Yes.
But there was one time you had a 3 lined up, but you saw an open lane. And what was the thought process there?
Yeah, so naturally I obviously want to shoot the 3. It's just my go-to. But when you see a clear lane open and a free layup, you got to take it sometimes.
Well, that was good decision-making right there.
Yes.
All right, let's talk to Luke, the mayor. Well, maybe the co-mayor of Dunktown, Luke.
And there's a steal by Wiley.
Oh, a new Dunk King. The new mayor of Dunktown right there, Luke Wiley.
All right, there you go. You're heading for the basket. You're going down, right? Is that how it's going on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So, does it give you confidence when you can jam that ball down? You get you get the cheer block just gets right into it there. So tell me your thought as you're heading down the court. What are you thinking, or are you thinking?
I wasn't really thinking the whole time. My hands are still shaking from it. So
mine are too. I was just excited for you.
But you knew it was going down, right?
It was nice.
Yeah, what would happen if you miss it? You ever think about that? You're not missing it, right?
Yeah, I'm not missing it.
All right. Well, that's going to do it here. This is our Subway Players game. This is Marshall Phillips and Luke Wiley.
Welcome back, and the mayor of Dunktown.
Well, Luke Wiley's joined the race.
He's joined the race right now.
And the thing about a dunk, it brings the crowd up. It gets them into it. So, whenever you see that in a high school game, it really gets things. The juices are flowing.
Yeah.
So anyways, the Knights, they got a couple games this week. They play Friday night at Winchester, another Tri-Eastern Conference game, and Saturday they'll be home to, who do we say, Adams Central.
Adams Central, which will have all the action on the Knights Broadcasting Network. I believe it's Donnie Beatty and me on the broadcast.
And so that'll be Saturday night. So... What else we got here, Jerry? Well, wrestling came to an end.
Wrestling came to an end. We had Olivia Kroll and Vanden Miller was at Newcastle, and I know that they lost.
Yeah.
And you have to win 2 rounds to move on. And I don't know if either one of them won their first round
I
or
think
not.
they both got beat in the first round. But you know what? Congratulations to them just to get there. Now it gives them a taste, right?
Yep.
You see, obviously, once you get there, and if you've never been to a semi-state, first of all, Newcastle does it up big. You get you're in the field, the famous field house, okay? And it's awesome, doing that. You've got some great talent coming in.
Oh, absolutely.
To that semi-state. But I want to give congratulations to Olivia and Vanden. They'll be back next year.
Yep.
And hopefully they can push through. Now they see what it might take, and now you can start preparing.
Yep.
Okay. And just like anything else, you want to improve. You want to move on. They both improved from last year to get there. And now the next step would be to win those 2 matches to get into that state finals. So, good luck congratulations first to them, and good luck for the future. And Jerry, I think you and I, or the Knights Broadcasting Network, probably are the sectional and regional broadcaster in this area.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I don't like to brag.
I don't like to brag either. But when you're the best, Rick, it's not bragging; it's factual.
Well, I think we did a good job. I'm proud of our team.
Well, and we were just talking about the baseball umpires. Our broadcast from the Winchester baseball section.
Yeah.
Center field cameras, first base camera, third base camera. I mean, and all the great guests we have on, which brings me to this point here. Lloyd Michael, who remember Lloyd came up. Well, his wife passed away after a long battle with cancer. We send out our deepest condolences and sympathy to Lloyd Michael, longtime baseball coach at Hagerstown. So I wanted to get that in tonight.
Okay.
But so anyway, I think we need another commercial.
Let's
break.
take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap it up.
It's Knightline Live.
We would love to invite you to LifeSpring Students, our youth group at LifeSpring Church that is just south of Northeastern on 27. We meet from 7 to 8:30 on most Thursdays, but the doors open at 6:30. You can grab some pizza or a snack from our cafe and then hang out with your friends until 7 p.m. At 7, our student band leads us in some worship through music, and we have a lesson from God's Word, the Bible. We then split into small groups based on grade and gender to apply what we have learned and pray with one another. Find out more at lifespring.tv/students.
Martin's Country Mart, US 27 Fountain City. Swing in and grab a coffee or a frazzle. Maybe a fountain drink at Martin's Country Mart. We also have all your favorite snacks, bottled drinks, and of course, sweet bakery items. Plenty of accessories for dinner. And don't forget the grill menu, covering lunch, dinner, and of course, the kids' favorite, pizza. Martin's Country Mart, Fountain City.
When it comes to your home, you don't just want the job done. You want it done right. At Nate Lee Remodel and Restoration, we believe your space deserves craftsmanship you can trust at a price that makes sense.
From remodeling and restoration to custom trim work, interior painting, interior and exterior doors, or even that deck you've always wanted, every project is handled with care, attention to detail, and a personal touch. Call Nate Lee Remodel and Restoration, where quality meets character.
Holistic financial services and professional advice to help you manage and preserve your assets. Welcome to Private Wealth Management at Old National. Here, we provide financial planning and investment strategies from Old National Wealth Advisors and premier banking services from Old National Private Banking to help you plan for and tackle your broader financial needs. It's time to explore Private Wealth Management at Old National. Learn more at oldnational.com/private.
Your school helps shape the person you become, opening your mind to new ideas and belonging to a community. Whether it's earning an advanced degree, joining the FFA, pushing your health and wellness, playing in the band, or playing on the field. It's a safe place where everyone knows your name, and a kid can be a kid. The halls of today filled with the leaders of tomorrow. Northeastern.
You've had a hard day at work, and all you want to do is sit in your lounge chair in the nice cool air? Then it hits! The AC's not working. The living room feels like the Sahara Desert. Call Reynolds Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. In just a short time, it'll be nice and cool. And then all you'll need is a sign that says, "No penguins allowed." Call 765-966-0994. Reynolds Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Proud sponsors of the Knights. Did someone say boom, baby? Call Scoretti Pyrotechnics at 765-977-2757. Scoretti Pyrotechnics has performances for birthdays, weddings, school athletic events, other occasions, and of course, the 4th of July. Scoretti Pyrotechnics are proud supporters of Knights Athletics. Boom, baby! Smith, McQuiston, Webster Funeral Home has proudly served the Fountain City area since 1886. From the time you walk up the steps, Funeral Director Keith Webster's goal is to carry forward the legacy of personal service established by the Smith and McQuiston families. Using modern technology and good old-fashioned attention to detail, we will strive to earn your confidence in us by treating families the way we think we would want to be treated. Smith, McQuiston, Webster Funeral Home. Rick, thank goodness somebody called timeout because I am hungry.
I'm starved, Jerry. Hey, with 3 different Richmond locations and 1 in Hagerstown, here's a Subway sandwich shop near you.
And you can always order off the app for curbside pickup. The drive-thru's always open, and the way that I prefer it, I just like to walk in.
Here's your sub.
Listen, Subway, eat fresh.
Go Knights!
Welcome back to Knightline Live, and just wrapping up here. We've only got one broadcast coming up.
Yep, it's going to be, well, the guys play at Winchester Friday night. Go up and watch them play. Yep. Saturday night, they'll be here against Adams Central. We'll have that on the Knights Broadcasting Network. Some point, we're going to have to update everybody on archery because they're doing their qualification. They've done their qualification, so we'll get some information out about archery, and the things that they're doing, Jerry. Other than that, I think we're done for the night.
Hey, I think we are. For executive producer Aiden Crane and for Rick Fletcher, I'm Jerry Middleton, and it's been another good night.